Okay, in this second part, I will show you how to import your data if your data is a quarterly time series. So first is, so here in the code I have already copy and paste where my data is located. So you can just, okay, unless if you want to do it manually, you can just go to File, Import, CSV, and then point to where your file is. Okay, here for example, then you click OK. So now you have imported the data. So using the command that I have, you start with clear, set more off. Okay, and then here you can see that so let's say we go through this one first. Okay, so we can see that in this data we have okay, there are a few ways for you to import time series quarterly data. So in my case, I prefer that my year and my quarter is we have two separate columns for year and quarter, and then here I have a GDP variable. So it starts with 1991, first quarter, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can uh, instruct Excel to do this automatically, or you can just copy and paste. Okay, so we have year, quarter, and GDP. So we have the year as so 1991 will appear 4 times. So each year will appear 4 times to represent the 4 quarters in 1 year. So so once you have imported your data in CSV format successfully, so now it's to generate the date variable using the YQ. Q stands for quarter. Why YQ? Because year, quarter, and then we have the two columns just now in the data set. The first column is year followed by quarter. Okay, so first column is year, second column is quarter. So uh, that's why we use the YQ format. Generate Q date, year, quarter, okay, the first column, second column, and then we format the variable name Q date using the percentage TQ. Okay, Q stands for quarterly, and then we TS-set the data, TS-set Q date quarterly. So let's highlight this, the last three lines. Okay, so now we have declared the data to be a time series quarterly data. So if you view the data, so you have the date variable as Q date. So 1991 Q1, 1991 Q2, 1991 Q3, and so forth. So there are other ways if you okay, search online or go to the STATA website. Okay, you can, if your data set originally in the form of 1991 Q1, Q2, and Q3, I believe you can also declare your data set directly without using the YQ um, format. Okay, but I find it much easier and more is more easier for me to follow my data set by having a separate column for year and quarter. Okay, so this is if your data is a time series data. Okay, but if your data is in panel format, okay, so let's clear the previous screen. So now we have nothing here. So clear, set more off. So again, this is my panel data sample data set. So I've imported. So again, you can just import your data into STATA. So we can view the data first. So we have year in the first column, quarter in the second column, and then because this is a panel data, so I think this is 5 country data sets, okay, for ASEAN 5 countries: Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. So we have two variables, export and import. Okay, but the main variable in concern is the country variable because this is a panel data set. So again, okay, we use the YQ format similar to the time series data just now. Okay, format Q date percentage TQ. So this is the same. Okay, except for the last 3 lines. Okay, because if you view your data, you will see that country it detects as a string variable str. Okay, so we want to rename country so that we remove the red become black color, or uh, it becomes a float or integer variable. So we do this by format encode. Okay, country I rename as CTY. Okay, rename CTY. I rename CTY into ID, and then XTset, the command for declaring your data to be a panel data. ID QDate quarterly. So let's do this. Okay. So here we have my country variable renamed to ID. Okay. So from red we change to blue. So this is the correct format. If you have a string variable, okay, and then the Q date is the date variable. So you have now imported or declare your data and into STATA successfully as a panel, as a quarterly panel data. Okay, so this is how you do it for a quarterly panel data.